Welcome to Elliott Wave Cafe. This is your host, the Cowboy, and welcome to the chart of the day. This is PayPal. Today we're going to take a look at this and try to make sense of this price action. Yesterday we've talked about silver, and then a few days prior to that, I think we've talked about oil and cautioning on there a little bit of these upside levels that are supposedly providing resistance and a larger sell-off. So if you take a look at the oil chart today, you'll see what I meant, and you'll see the big sell-off kind of coming in the price of oil. It remains to be seen on the sustainability of that, but just kind of check that out. And also check the previous videos, guys. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff on different stocks and commodities and things like that. So go ahead and check it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like to this channel if you like this series and these videos. You know, we'll do on cryptos as well. I think I have this weekend coming up a Bitcoin and Ethereum Elliott wave analysis. I think I gotta check on that. But every couple of weeks we do those. So today we're going to take a look at PayPal. So go ahead and try to come up with your interpretation here in the wave count. And I don't really care much about this move from the lows to the highs, although we can do the exercise here live. But I do care about kind of what's happening from this highs to the lows, and then what's the next likely move in PayPal, right? Because that's what we care about. How can we trade this? How we can, do the best analysis and see how we can take advantage of some moves in PayPal. So in Elliott wave structure, let's kind of take a look and see what I'm noticing again. So I see here a correction. So to me, that's a clean kind of ABC move. And then I see an impulse, and I see some impulses here, and I see, a bunch of corrections and a little bit of an impulse back into these levels. So let's do this. And let's start kind of from the high and kind of move our way lower. And I'm going to go here with an impulse. And this is, this is an extended wave one. As you can see here, it's more of a rare pattern, but it's kind of clear how nice and strong this is, and it's the kind of the largest sequence of this, the last sequence up. So you can go up there in a wave one. Let's see if it matches. This is a 3. You can have a flat. It's not a flat, it's just maybe a zigzag here in 4, and then a very small 5th wave, and you can push up here in this 5th. So 1 2 3 4 5. Well, that's the last leg because you already had the big sell-off. So that must be a 5th wave. Well, if that's a 5th wave, then means that I gotta have a 3rd somewhere in here, and that's a 4th, right? So let's do this. Let's just kind of start from the bottom here. I'm gonna go in a wave 1, let's say somewhere up to this high, maybe do a 2 in here, and then let's see a 3, a 4, and a 5. So that's a nice, look at this. This is a beautiful flat correction in 3 3 5. It's a big, awesome expanded flat in here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. This is a pretty cool feature in here. And then I think this is a wave 1, like almost like a leading diagonal here in a wave 1, followed by a smaller 2nd wave in here. I mean, you can even do maybe something like that, and then 1 2 3 4 and 5. So anyway, the bottom line is that you're having, I think, a completed sequence up to this high. I mean, this wave 4, it's a little bit bigger than anything that I have so far, but I'll go with that for now. It looks like an impulsive move. It doesn't look like an ABC, right? You can do that too if you really want to. But the point is, you have a completed sequence in here. Being an ABC or being a full impulse, it doesn't really matter unless you're looking for the long prospects in PayPal, which, it's beyond the purpose of today's video. So let's just kind of go with this for right now. And now let's look from the highs to the lows in here. So you can see that you have a decline here, another impulse, a retrace, a decline, a retrace, and then another long decline. So let's jump over to a 2-day chart and kind of see how this looks. Let me kind of grab this back. Wow, this is a long arrow. What in the world? All right, hold on. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. So let's try to make sense of this. I'm seeing a drop, pullback, another drop, another pullback, a large, nice acceleration gap in here. This usually happens in a 3rd wave. So this is a 3rd wave in here. I'm getting a 4th wave and what it looks like a 5th. Wow, that's cool. So let's take a look here. Impulse. So we have a wave 1, maybe a flat in 2 in a wave 2. Then another 1 2. So 1 2 1 2, 3rd of a 3rd. That's strong move. 1 2 1 2 3 4 and 5. Wow, look at that. So that means that we still need maybe a 4th and a 5th before PayPal is over. That's what I think. That's what I think. Let me do this on the impulse here as well. So just kind of subdivide this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is, let me go to a 1 day. Squeeze this up. It looks like I have another 5-wave impulse in here already. So maybe that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4, and that's a 5. So I'm getting a subdivision here. You can notice the acceleration gap here in the 3rd wave as well, just like we kind of had it in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I look at this, it does seem like, you know, you're kind of getting close to the end of this move in PayPal, because you've already had large sell-offs happening in the market. So I think, you know, the meat of the move, the larger trends in PayPal have been already exhausted. And you can notice now that the sell-offs are getting smaller. You can probably, if you pull the RSI, you can probably starting to notice a little bit of a divergence in here as well, as it's the case with the 5th wave. The only question that remains is this done, or are you still going to get a 4th and a 5th? So how do you kind of go about that? Well, if you're starting to climb back above this level here, about this 4th wave, and you're doing so impulsively, it's probably, the market is probably going to start to hint to you that this move is already done, and you already have a 1, 2, and a 3rd, a 4th, and maybe a 5th wave in here, right? And I'm you know, messing up a little bit the, you know, the internals of this decline, right? I don't think I do. I think it's pretty clear that this is a so the way you would do that, you would be like this. You would go, let's say that's a 3rd, that's a 4th, right? And then you would push the 5th wave higher, right, in there. And now, you know, this 3rd would move here, this 4th would move there, and then this 5th, sorry about that, this 5th here, it would just move there, right? So can you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a 3rd, and then a 4th and a 5th? You know, you can probably do that, but if you can look in here, you can see a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. So to me, this whole thing here looks like a 3rd wave, you know, at the other degree, not the way I kind of have it set up. But let's say that I'm wrong, right? I'm always kind of thinking, hey, what if this is done? What if, you know, I'm wrong into my original assumption? This could be an alternate count for that matter, right? This could be an alternate and say, fine. Well, then we kind of have to start looking and see what's going to happen with the price action from here. So now, if this starts to move higher, right, and you're kind of getting above that level in there, right, and you're starting to kind of have a 3-way setback, and then you push higher again, then it's likely that this move is already complete, and you're looking at the, you know, at the next move up. And then kind of what's the next? Let me go to the first, you know, to the original intent here. Kind of just hitting the backup key. So this is what we have. Sorry about it. Let me just kind of clean this up. There you go. So now, if we're not getting a 4th and a 5th, if we do get this, right, and it's starting to get still maybe a triangle in here, if we're getting some kind of a move that kind of looks like that, right, then you know, well, there is one more low coming, and it's probably going to be a 5th wave. Well, then I'm going to get really excited. If I see a triangle and I find a push lower, that's when I will load the boat on PayPal and say, listen, you know, we're about to go in a kind of a major rally. You can kind of start to nibble in here, right, and just say, well, it looks like we're approaching. You might have to wait a little bit, maybe a few months in here to kind of for the market to create a low. But what this move is telling me is that there is not a lot of downside left in PayPal, right? And you've got to start to look upwards from now on. And even with a little bit of a downside, it's fine. But basically what I wanted to see a move higher like this in an A, B, C. And this is where you know, the things kind of get excited. Now you can get all the way back there to the 4th wave. You can do some fibs in here and just say, fine, a retrace. Let's see if this is the low. Let's just assume that that's the low. You know, you're going to retrace 38%. So that's going to lead to a move back to 146 in PayPal if that's the low. If the low in this, it's back here, you know, maybe near, so maybe a little bit lower, then you're looking 145, maybe 50%, maybe climbs all the way back to 61%. Being this a B wave or being the beginning of a larger move upwards, we don't know, but it's a tradable move. It's something that you can kind of hang your head on and say, you know, there's something I can work with here. And then, hey, listen, if you want to wait for the A wave first, that's fine. Wait for this to develop first and then buy the pullback in wave B and then trade a wave C, right? It just means you got to be more patient. You're looking for more confirmation from the market, then wait for this wave A to kind of form first, and then you're doing the C. But you know, I like it. You know, I'm involved in PayPal. I'm starting to buy it. I bought it a little bit earlier too, so I'm thinking that this is, you know, full disclosure. But I'm thinking that, you know, we're running toward the end of the pattern in here, and I'm you know, I want to enjoy a ride at least back to 145 in an initial move in here. I mean, it might take a few months. You got to wait, but that is, you know, at least from these levels, from where we are currently, right? It could be a 50% move. If it's going higher, if we can trade it all the way back up there, it could be a 100% move, right? If it doubles from here, it might take some time. But the most important thing is this, that this decline, it's about to be over. Also, you are coming into this fourth wave. Look at this, $82, right? And some of these pullbacks kind of stop right there. So we're very, very close to that. We didn't get there just yet, you know, but maybe that's going to happen when you get this fifth wave. And that's going to be a nice clue. You're looking at the maybe an ending diagonal, maybe just a clean fifth wave decline. And then from here, then we're going to start to rally higher. So I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited when I see moves that sharply drop like this, and then, you know, you're starting to see divergence. You're starting to kind of count the internals, and they all kind of start to match, right? So there's not a lot of surprise from this market left. Right, back in here it was a little bit trickier because you could have actually say, well, maybe this is an ABC and you're going to push higher, but you didn't. The market crashed lower. So now you're coming back at it and says, well, you know, here is PayPal giving us a chance here to maybe trade it to the upside for a little bit. Even this resistance, look at this thing, right? 126. I mean, a move from 100 to 126 is still a pretty good tradable move. So that's kind of the idea behind this count. I just wanted you to just kind of see it a little bit, and if you kind of go back to, let's say, a 2-week chart in here, you know, and let me hide some of these counts. You know, just kind of go like that, right? If this is an A, if this is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if this is an A, you can trade an ABC up in B, and that means that maybe, only maybe, who knows, right? This will crash later. I grabbed that one by mistake, but let me just kind of pull it out of the way. So maybe it's going to go up into the 61% in 3 waves towards 194, and then the market will do something like this, right? You go A, B, C, and then you're going to get a C wave decline, and you do something like that, and this becomes a wave 1, and this becomes a wave 2, and then you're looking, you know, over the next few years. You know, you're looking here, 2026, I don't know, 4 or 5 years until PayPal actually takes these highs and moves much higher in the next market cycle, right? So think about it. I think this market will owe us at least, you know, some kind of a pullback back in here. Maybe one more move down, and then, you know, this is going to be a nice tradable move higher. And then we'll see how this develops. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, well, then things start to look good, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a flat and an ABC, and the market is like, haha, listen, I had other plans in mind, and I'm actually looking higher. I don't think so, but listen, I've been surprised before. And with that, I'll close it off, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like. We'll come up with another video tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Thursday, so it's going to be the last video of this week. And then visit us into the program as well, you know, for daily videos for our members, subscribers. We're doing, you know, cryptos and macro and S&P 500 and oil and gold, and we actively trade. Actually, we opened a long trade in Bitcoin yesterday, which has done really, really well today. And we're trying to kind of monitor that. Maybe we can squeeze a little bit more out of it, but, you know, I talk about that in the daily video. So thanks for watching, and I'll be talking to you later. Bye-bye.